As we turn elsewhere in the Middle East to Lebanon next, a series of Israeli strikes has hit Beirut's southern suburbs, an area controlled by Hezbollah. The Israeli army confirmed it targeted several Hezbollah members. Lebanon's state news agency reported that the raids caused significant damage to buildings in the area. No further information has so far been provided on these airstrikes as of now. Now, joining us on this is Ross Feingold. He's a political analyst. He joins us live from Taipei in Taiwan. Ross, thank you so much for joining us here. We know, of course, that Israel has been striking Hezbollah and Hezbollah has been attempting to strike back. But Hezbollah, of course, it is mainly based in the south of the country, but this is a stronghold here in the political capital. Is Israel attempting a tactical disruption here, or is this strategic escalation in terms of this front?
You're correct that Hezbollah's strength is predominantly in the south, but they've long had a presence in predominantly Shia suburbs of the capital or neighborhoods of the capital as well. Israel has zero patience or tolerance for any actions by Hezbollah to inflame this situation. So if Israel has intelligence about movements of weapons, ammunition that could be used against Israel at this time while Israel is engaged in hostilities with Iran, then Israel is going to have no hesitation about taking the initiative to neutralize those risks from Hezbollah. And that's generally been Israel's policy throughout the time that Israel was fighting Hamas in Gaza. And that'll be the policy at present as well. So the smart thing for Hezbollah to do would be not to move men, not to move equipment, not to move ammunition, and not to give Israel a reason to attack, because very often, and unfortunately, when Israel does take action against Hezbollah targets, civilians are injured or die because Hezbollah often embeds itself nearby to civilian facilities. But again, the key thing here is Israel is not going to care about what it might mean for domestic politics in Lebanon. Israel is going to safeguard its national security. And if that means attacking Hezbollah targets because Hezbollah is presenting a threat, then Israel is going to do so. And frankly, it'll have the support of the United States when it does that. And given what now appears to have been Hezbollah's absolutely foolish launching of drones towards British bases on Cyprus, then Israel's going to have even broader support to attack Hezbollah targets.
And Ross, this comes after further actions in Lebanon. Israel says ground troops will advance and seize additional strategic areas in Lebanon. What's the significance of this, and what does it mean for the context on the Hezbollah front?
It's an unfortunate situation for the people of Lebanon. It's an unfortunate situation for what's long been a weak central government in Lebanon, but they've had difficulty taking on Hezbollah. And Israel will take action if it thinks it's necessary to protect its northern areas from the threat or the risk of Hezbollah attacks. And that's been Israel's position. Now, as part of the ceasefire arrangement after the last mini war between Hezbollah and Israel, Hezbollah was supposed to pull back. And at times, it's appeared that they have not honored that agreement. That's why Israel periodically takes action. But again, at the moment where Israel is engaged in hostilities with Iran, there's just no tolerance whatsoever from Israel for any movement by Hezbollah, and Israel will take action. And again, it's going to be the people of Lebanon who suffer. It'll make the central government look weak as well. But from Israeli perspective, there's no option. They have to protect their northern areas.
Ross, do stay with us. We're turning over to our next update coming out of the region. We turn now to Qatar, where the Foreign Ministry spokesperson has confirmed that Iran's missile targets are not limited to military sites, but include all of Qatar's territory. The spokesperson also revealed that there were attempts to attack Hamad International Airport, but all of them failed. In addition, almost 8,000 people remain stranded in Qatar as airspace remains closed. There has been no ongoing communication with Iran, and Qatar is fully prepared to deal with the ongoing threat with enough interceptor missiles in stock. Qatar stressed that such attacks will not go unanswered, reinforcing its readiness and resolve in the face of ongoing threats. Let's listen in to the statements from the foreign minister.
أولا بالنسبة للمطار أنا أؤكد أن هناك كان محاولات للاعتداء على مطار حمد الدولي، كلها باءت بالفشل ولله الحمد والمنة، وتم إسقاط هذه الصواريخ والمسيرات قبل وصولها إلى أرض المطار. ولكن هذا يؤكد أن الاستهداف كما قلنا هو ليس لمنشآت عسكرية فقط أو منشآت عسكرية أمريكية، بل هو استهداف للمنشآت الحيوية القطرية.
Next, we turn to Oman, where according to local media there, the country has downed 2 drones while another one has crashed near Salalah port. State media has reported the drones were shot down over Dhofar governorate, while the third crashed near the port area. No casualties or material damage have been reported as of now. This comes as Iran continues to target infrastructure in the Gulf in response to US and Israeli attacks. This comes as a drone attack earlier targeted a fuel tank at Oman's Duqm commercial port. Reports suggest that the damage at the port was contained with no casualties, however. Dr. Chadha joins us once again in this discussion. As we have reported, there are multiple Gulf countries, whether it's the likes of Oman, the UAE, Qatar, all being dragged into this conflict. Is Iran deliberately widening the conflict here by targeting these Gulf states directly?
Absolutely. I mean, and this seems to be part of their strategic thinking that any of these states that are not directly helping or aiding Iran stand against Iran. And so it's no longer about attacking, for instance, critical infrastructure only or trying to attack their airports. They have just widened the scope to anything and everything in the neighborhood, which is in itself very, very concerning. But then one would question, right, what is the message here? And I mean, from what we can read, Iran appears to be attempting to basically disrupt the region. It appears to be trying to disrupt global energy trades. It tries to be attempting to put pressure on surrounding states so as to coerce them in some way into withdrawing their consent or withdrawing their support for US assets. But more than that, they are risking being further isolated. And in that, it seems like the Iranian strategy is going to backfire very, very soon, because if they continue to do these attacks consistently on all of the states all at once, without a proper reason as to why they're doing it, of course, at some point, one of these states is going to retaliate, because this is no longer about destruction of property. This has now come down to a lot of states where, there have been reports of loss of life reported, and these states, they hold responsibility not just to safeguard their sovereignty but also their people, and so they're answerable, they're accountable, and it's only a matter of time. I mean, the wider Iranian scope gets, the weaker its central leadership is. They're losing track of who they're attacking and for what purpose. So I mean, overall, it's a very, very bad sign. I would read it as a complete breakdown of their strategy if they have to widen the scope so far that they're now willing to attack maybe not best of friends but at least neighbors.
Yeah, and we'll be keeping updates of that, of course. But for now, as we move on, we're having some word